Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and please excuse my croaky throat. Yeah, good morning everyone. Right, we are up with more from Panalisa, and today we're doing the succulents, or the hens and chicks, whatever it is you like to call them, and the cup. But I'm not doing it as a cup. As I said yesterday, I'm going to try and use it as a little plant pot. So those are the dyes that we're using today. Now we're also going to be using some ink, so I've got crushed olive, bundled sage and tea dye. Those are the three colours that I'm using. Now I have cut out my first section. This is how big the cup would be without the handle. So if I measure that now it's made up, you'll know how big the cup is. I'll stand it up, there we go. 2¼ inches, and then across is 2 inches. So that's how big your little teacup is, and it does come with a handle. I'm just going to share that here. So you do get a little handle to put on that cup, teacup, coffee cup, whatever it is. And you also get a heart, and with the heart you get these little words that will emboss into the heart. But I took those little words, and in the succulent set you get 2 little plant labels, and so what I did was I embossed love you into my little plant label. Now you get a kind of cloud shape scallop edge tag, or you get this one, and of course I've used this one. So that's my little plant label, and I've made that up already. Now to make this more solid, what I did was I cut another one in brown cardstock. There you go, in craft cardstock. And then I chopped it down to 1 inch. So this bit here is only 1 inch. And my idea is that I'm going to thread that through in a minute before I glue it onto here. And that's just going to make a lid for me to adhere everything to. And it's kind of, you know, kind of be my soil. Yeah. So I need to score this, and you'll see just how quick and simple this is. All you've got to do is bend your bits in, and then when you've done that, it's a matter of just bend that one, bend that one, that one, that one, and that one. You can see just how simple that is. So I've got my glue bottle, and we're going to glue this bit. I forgot to fold that one. Yeah, don't forget to fold that one. And then I'm just going to pop my glue down here and here. I might need to vanish for a few seconds. I've actually got my air conditioner and my dehumidifier on because of all my horrible humidity. So I don't know what kind of pressure that's going to put on that bit. But what I'll do is I'm going to hold that, and I'll be right back. Right, I think I'm safe to put some glue on the other side, so I'm going to glue these 2 sides, and I'll do that one last, because I just know that if I try to glue too many sides at once, something's going to happen. And it usually isn't very good. Yeah, I don't know whether I said, you know, welcome to the weekend, it's Friday, but yeah, welcome to the weekend, it's Friday, and I haven't had any coffee, so you know. Right, I'm just going to hold that. Right, I think I'm safe again. So on the last bit here, tuck your little flap in, and you've got that edge, and so we're just going to put glue here and along there. Let's go along there, and I might have to vanish and hold this again. Just cap off my glue, and then just bring that over. You want it to be fairly even. I like to stand my stuff on the table and push it down. Right, I'm going to hold that, and I will be right back. Okay, that is dry enough to play with again, and I've got a piece of brown natural looking twine here, and this is going to be the dangle of my tag. This is how we're going to hang the tag. And of course I want my knot hidden on the inside, and the reason I punched 2 holes is so that I could do this. So it looks like a button on the top, and I'm just going to knot that, and then it won't be able to pop out. So just knot it so that it's going to be there securely, and then you can pull that up and you've got the top of your tag. Now where it's going to get interesting is when I try to glue this into here, because of course they are both the same size, so that is going to take some pressure points and some finagling. So first of all, we need to know what needs to be done without crushing the plant pot. So I know that's not going to fit on the outside, I don't think. Or maybe it is. I'm going to go quiet for a minute now while I squeeze. Oh. 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 Well, that's pretty much stuck on. So it will go in over and it alters the shape of it slightly, but will it go inside? And that's why I chose the most rigid to be the dirt for the plants. Oh yes, it does. Oh yeah, wow, there we go. So now that we know that's going to work, I need glue on the inside. It probably would hold in quite firmly all on its own, but you know, you just want to be sure anyway. So I'm just going around those edges. I'm just going to be quiet and grateful that I didn't have a disaster. Yeah. Right, so I'm now going to try and finagle that in again. Getting it past all of those points. I want to get it down as far as I can. Now remember, you've got your handle so that you can adjust it. Now I want that down there. And I'm wondering just how much pressure I can apply. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull and have a little bit of dirt showing at the top. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. Look, see, I'm going to have a little bit of dirt showing above, although it's kind of like you don't want to beat it too hard. So we've got our taggy and we've got our soil, so I'm going to move that aside and pop those there. And then next up is our succulents. Now you do get 4 different types of succulent, so I'm moving them in here. I hope that you can see. So you've got like a pointy edge, you've got a round edge, you've got more of a flower shape, which you could use these as flowers, and you could also use these as 4-petal flowers, but of course they are supposed to be succulents. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make them look like succulents. And you also get these little pieces that you can pop into the center of some of them. So let's begin. Let's start with this one. Actually, I think this is a great flower shape. Don't know about you, but all of these are cut in a very light sort of sage green. So I want to darken them up a little bit, and I'm going to go in, I believe, with some, ooh, I think crushed olive first. Yeah. So this is oxide, and let's have a look at what we've got, because it can be, you know, sometimes that just your cardstock colour on its own is enough to get the effect that you want. So I'm just sponging off the very tips of these, and I'm going to do another one, and then I'm just going to vanish, do the others, and we'll put it together. So just getting some colour around those edges. You just have to think about those little succulent plants that you see in the store and how they look, or just grab a photo, you know, to try and get a feel of how they should be. So I've got my second layer on there. Right, I'm going to finish doing exactly the same to all these and I will be right back. Right, so I've done all those, and next I've got tea dye, and I'm going to go splotchy, splotchy all over. So, you know, just lightly brush everything. Don't go too heavy. And then I'm going to run off and finish the rest of these, and then get some more tea dye, and then go heavy on the edges. So that you're getting an effect like that. So it's kind of paler all over and then heavier on the edge using the tea dye. I'll just finish this one and show you, and then I'll go and do the others. Ooh, my camera. See, it's just a lot darker on the edge. Right, I'll finish this one and I'll be right back. Right, so that one's completed, and then for this one I'm going to use bundled sage. So I'll move the crushed olive out of the way and pretty much do the same that I've done on the others. So this is like a sage going to a sage, so it's going to be interesting to see what this one looks like. Oh, and it just, you know, darkens up the edges. So I'm going to complete doing this, and I think what I might do is put tea dye around the edge of this one, because it's only very slight, the colour difference. So I'm going to do that and be right back. Okay, so I've done those and I've stacked them up, and the final set I've coloured in tea dye, but I also want to use some Kitsch Flamingo on this, because you do get some that are pinky in tone. So mine might be a bit more pinky than others, but I'm using Kitsch Flamingo. So here goes. So I'll go around the edge. I still want to see a little bit of the tea dye. But we're bringing a little bit of pink into there. And you can curl these up towards you or away from you, depending on how you want to do it. But we're going to start putting them together in a second. And I've got this one. But some of these you can totally separate them out and make flowers with them, absolutely. Perfect flower shapes. I'm going to go even more pink for the little bit. So that is my final one. Now I have got these centerpieces, but I haven't decided yet what colour that I want to do those in. So now let's put this one together, as we've got this one here. So I've got my glue bottle. I'm going to do all my curling once they're glued, and then you want to cross them over from each other. Just like you're making a flower. Now these are going to be fluffed and curled in a minute, but I'm just going to pick it up so that you can see it for now. So that's how you want to glue them together, so that they're constantly, you know, going opposites in layers. So I'm going to do opposites in layers and glue these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dropped the camera down a lot more, and I've got a couple of tools here. I've got my paintbrush handle, which tapers to different sizes, and I've also got my poke tool, which has got a lump of glue on it. So let's get that off. And those are going to be my shaping tools. Now you can of course do each one individually if you want to, and I'm hoping right now that all of my glue is dry. So let's go in first of all and shape this one. I want you to have a close-up before I do anything. So there you go. Now my smaller ones on top are going to need something a lot smaller to tease those, and I'm actually pulling some up and going to curl some back. So my little ones at the top I'm going to force up like that, and then my back 3 rows I'm going to curl down, and that's going to be a lot easier regardless of whether you do it this way or choose to manipulate each layer separately before gluing it, because they're just the smallest petals and they're just easier. Right, so for that third layer we can now start to come down. I'm just pulling those away with my fingers gently, just the very bottom layer, because then that's going to leave room to pull the other ones down. And a lot of them kind of will go flattish again once glued, but you just want to get those out of the way so that you can put a little bit of structure into it. I really like that. That would make a great flower, wouldn't it? I mean, I know that it's not, but it's just such a lovely shape. And then if we bring our little pot in here, I'm kind of thinking I want to manipulate it around the edge. Yeah, I kind of want that off the edge there, because I'm thinking as well, this hole here, if I pop some glue on there, if I pull the string all the way through and pop some glue on, I can actually have my little pick sticking up, if you know what I mean. So I quite like this one, and I like the way it will manipulate over the edge. So I'm gonna get some glue on that and start manipulating this one already. So I want glue here, and I want it to come down off the edge, and of course you want it on the top. I was forgetting that bit. Hang on, I'm just going to grab my little pot, and I want to meet there, but I also want to come down here. Right, so I'm just going to hold this bit first and I will be right back. Okay, so that's the first one glued on, and now I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to lift up, because remember there was only a dot of glue in the center of each one of these when it was stuck down, so you should be able to just poke your bits up in the air. I hope you can see that as I'm just going around lifting. And I think I want this one directly opposite, or maybe I'll have it at the side, who knows. It's all flower arranging. I hope everyone's going to have a great weekend. Of course, you know what I'm going to be doing. Actually, I've got to do a little bit of shopping, and then it's going to be weeding and mowing the lawn. And I've got a bunch of blackberries to pick, so I need to get those in the freezer. So that I'll be able to make some preserves with them when I've got enough. And that'll make my hubby very happy, because he loves his PBJs. Yeah. So we're getting really nice dimension in this one. You can see that. I hope my camera's not playing up. Ugh, we're going in really close there. There you go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling back on those. Just do it really gently. Layer by layer. And it will start to form on you like that. Now we have got those little centres that I haven't used, but I might use them, I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to work out if they're important in the scheme of things. And I don't know if I'm going to put this one on foam or if I'm going to glue it. I think I'm going to glue it, and I'm going to have that one right there. So they are quite literally hanging off the edge of this. I am going to pop some glue on that after. I'm just making sure that I'm not interfering with the hole. So I'm going to need glue here and here. And I'm going to go there. Right, I'm just going to hold that and I'll be right back. Right, so that's the second one in position, and I'm not bothered that my craft cardstock is sticking out because that's supposed to be my soil, which is why I did it in brown. So we've got our second one down. I did pop a little bit of glue onto there just to hold that in place, and now we've got two more to stick on. So I think I'm going to go with my pink one here so that it's going to overlap slightly, and we're just going to do the same thing. Just pull up the little bits. I might actually curl this one down, but just pull these up. So if I go with my bigger ones first. Paintbrushes are so useful. They really are. I love them. I love them for painting as well. I don't know if you're a collector of little things that can help you out in the craft room. You know, sometimes you just spot stuff, don't you? Like, my husband always used to drink Red Bull, and I used to save the cans for die cutting, and he doesn't drink Red Bull anymore. So now I kind of have to ask him to start drinking it so that I can have a few cans, because I do love to die cut metal items. So I'm curling that up and then I'm curling it down. And this one might need a foam pad under it because it needs to be elevated. So giving this one a totally different shape, and then I need to pull those up. So that it's kind of sticking up a bit. So I've got some foam here, and I'm just going to grab a piece and just cut a small chunk off. Now obviously if you're going to use construction paper or something like that, then you're going to have an easier time of you know, manipulating your shapes and stuff, other than using what I'm using, which is a textured basil cardstock. So I want to go around my twine and push that down. So now we've got 3 on there, and I'm still trying to get a good picture. There you go. So now we've got 3 succulents in our little tag pot, and then last but not least is this very large one, and I want this to come off the edge because it's so big. Now if you look at Panalisa's website, you'll see that I think she's put hers on a flat tray or something, and it looks really pretty. So I'm going up with these just in the center, And then I'm going to go all the way around the large ones and just bend this down. So I'll just keep bending down and I'll be right back. Right, so I've done that, and that is what this one looks like. It's kind of bent down a little bit, and I'm interested in getting glue onto those two there. So that's what I'm going to do. And I may just have to hold this for a second, because I'm going in between that succulent, a little bit on top of that one, and I'm going to push it down, and I'll be right back. Right, so everything's finished and everything's glued down. I'm trying to get a good picture. And we've got "Love You" on that little tag. You can see a little bit of the soil sticking out. We've got our hangy loop, and you can just hang that from a bag. I love that, especially if you bought someone a little plant or a succulent, do you know what I mean? Or even a packet of seeds. It's just going to look so sweet. I love that. Right, so that is what I have for you today, and I will be back on Monday with more from Panalisa, and I do hope you have an absolutely awesome weekend. As usual, all links below. Bye.